students. We will discuss today about the last module, HRM, that is employee remuneration. Remuneration is also called as compensation. So what is compensation? Compensation is the amount which is given to the employees for their work. In simple meaning, we can say we are giving the compensation with respect to the condition of work. Remuneration or compensation is something which is in terms of money, which is given or received as a payment for service. Employee remuneration includes everything. It includes wages, salaries, and all other allowances and benefits. See, compensation, it includes all the types of benefits. I will tell one by one. That is wages. Wage, you know what do you mean by wage? We have discussed almost 100 times in the class. Wages means which is paid on a daily basis. Salary will be paid on monthly basis. Apart from this, we are giving other allowances also, like HRA, house rent allowance, DA, dearness allowance, and then CCA, city compensatory allowance, provident fund, insurance, gratuity, perks, medical allowances, traveling allowances. There are various allowances. This all includes compensation. So it refers to wide range of financial and non-financial rewards to employees for their service rendered to the organization. So financial means which we can express in terms of money. Non-financial means which is in the form of rewards, which is in the form of certificates, which is in the form of medals. So like that, they are also called as non-financial awards. Okay, we'll go for the next slide. That is factors influencing on wage and salary administration. See, in earlier days in the industry, there is no separate importance for this wage and salary, but now the trend has been completely changed. In an HR department, there are separate payroll administration has to be maintained. It is also called as wage and salary administration, because this is the only one which will motivate the employees to work very interestingly. That's why we have to be given more importance for this wage and salary administration. Okay, so what are the factors influencing on wage and salary administration? The first one is demand and supply. What is demand and supply? Sometimes what happens now, there is a huge demand for the effective talents in the organization. Okay, but the shortage of supply of those candidates in the society. So at that time you need to be paid the salary according to their requirements, because they are the only one person which is having a huge talent. They are a few in numbers. Okay, this will affect on wage and salary administration. That means you should be set not according to you, but you need that candidates urgently. For that, you have to be procure them and you have to fix the salary. This will definitely influencing on wage and salary administration. Demand and supply of labors. Okay, demand and supply. Suppose if you are taken in a reverse direction, take down. That is, if the demand is very less, demand is very less, but huge supply of labor. At that time, whatever you are fixing the salary, that will be the final. Maybe that candidates will also agree with your salary. But when the laborers itself they are in shortage in supply, then they will demand more. Then you have to be give the requirement salary according to them. So second one is organization's ability to pay. This will also affects on wage and salary administration. Okay, so sometimes organizations will not, or we can say that they have to be work within that system. They cannot go beyond that limitations of the system. So this will also get affected on wage and salary administration. So you should pay whatever may be the condition, whatever may be the circumstances, you should pay according to your limit. You are giving the wage, or you are fixing the wage and salary rate. Okay. Third one is prevailing market rate. This will also affect on wage and salary administration. How you know? I will tell you that before fixing the wage and salary, we should see the surroundings, that is surrounding industries, for top level, middle level and lower level, how much salary has been fixed in other industries. According to that only you have to fix in your industries. You cannot give the same lower level worker in another industry, they are paying 15,000 rupees and you are giving 10,000. Then employees will start to compare how you are and how they are. So according to that, at least to that level you have to be maintain the wage and salary. You cannot immediately comes down. So say for example, at the lower level worker, same designation, EBC industry, they are paying 16,000. Same designation here in your industry, you are paying 11,000. Then they will start to compare. Why you are giving this much salary, they are giving that much salary. They will quit your organization and they will join the other organization. Okay, so this will also affect on wage and salary administration. Next, productivity. Definitely, when productivity of the organization, profit of the organization is very high, then you have to be increase the salary, you have to give the increment. This will affect on wage and salary administration. If you are not giving, then employees will come and question you, why you are not giving bonus, why you are not giving the increment, like that. Next, fifth one is cost of living. Of course, I know, I already told you that being a industrialist, you should check the total cost of living, how much expenses for involved for per head for of the employees. That means for one employee, what is his total month expenses in 1 month, how much he wants to be spent, or how much amount is required for 1 month for that employee. So based upon that calculation, you have to fix the salary. See, for 1 month itself, his total expense is 4,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees. Then you cannot give 7,000 rupees, because how much? What is the saving later? So according to that, you have to fix the salary, cost of living. Next, trade unions bargaining power. See, trade unions, you know that who are the trade unions? Trade union is a voluntary association of employees for the betterment of the employees. They are called as trade unions. Okay, so if you are not giving the proper wage and salary, then trade unions will come and question you. Um, so they will work on behalf of the workers. Trade unions are always uh, in favor of the workers. They will ask with the employers, why you are not giving the bonus, why you are not giving the increment. So their bargaining power also will influencing on wage and salary administration. Next, seventh one is job requirement. So this will also get affected on wage. And see, this year you are having 100 vacancies. This year you are wanted to be procured 100 posts. So definitely for that 100 posts you need to be prepare wage and salary revised structure, because till now 2000 employees are there, now it is 2100 employees. Okay, so job requirement also getting affected on wage and salary administration. Next, management attitude. Wherever you go, if the management is not having positive attitude, then wage and salary administration or wage and salary structure will not get an modification. If they are having negative attitude, definitely the wage and salary administration will not get revised, and it will be same for a longer period of time. So management should have a positive attitude towards wage and salary administration. They should check each and every year, they should revise it, and they should offer the employees with an attractive package. Then psychological and social factors, this will also affected on wage and salary administration. So this is psychological. Psychology means what? It is related to the mind of the employees. Okay, I already told, if the employees are not satisfied with your salary, what you are giving, they will think about other industries. So this will get affected on wage and salary administration of your industry. So we should properly revise it. Social factors. So social means how the employees are living in the society. According to that, you should bear the expenses, whether they are coming daily by bus, these are all extra expenses, whether they are bringing the lunch, whether they are bringing breakfast. So all these types of factors will influence on wage and salary administration. Next, legislative consideration. So whatever you do in the organization, you have to be fix the wage and salary according to the rules and regulations which is laid down by the government. This will also affected on wage and salary administration. Government rules and regulations, you cannot violate the rules and regulations. So whatever the government will form, it may be minimum wage or it may be a compensation, whatever it may be, you should go according to the law. Next, principles of wage and salary administration. Okay. There are basically 8 principles are there. Let us will see one by one. Very simple it is. What are the principles? If any industry to survive for a longer period of time, there are some basic principles they need to be followed. What are those? There should be a definite plan and system for bringing an equity in the distribution of wage and salaries in the organization. So there should be a definite plan. You should whatever you are having the number of employees, for them you need to be prepared a separate plan how to go about the wage and salary administration, or how to go about the payroll administration. And you should not show any discrimination for equal level of employees. For one employee you are paying 8,000, the same worker who is working with him, you are paying 7,000. No, there should be an equity in the distribution of wage and salary administration. Next, second one is maintaining the competitiveness in the wage and salary. Okay, which means maintaining general level of wage. And competitiveness means what? Competitiveness. So I already told in the previous slide that you should check, or you should study about how the other industries are following. In the surroundings you, there are some more number of industries. So you just maintain that competitiveness. If they are paying 8,000, then you should also pay 8,000, or less than that you are the loser. You should pay 8,500, then it is good. So good employees will come and join with you. So third one is matching employees' expectation by avoiding the unsatisfied discrimination by providing equal pay for equal work. So you should pay the equal pay for equal work. Fourth one is identifying positive employee behavior, and according to the compensation package should be set. See, it is the foremost duty of every industry to immediate identification of good behavior of the employee. If the so matching the employee's expectation by avoiding the unjustified discrimination by providing equal pay for equal work. That is over. Next, fourth one is identifying positive employee behavior, and according to that compensation package should be set. See, immediate identification, what I am telling right now, just I will repeat. Immediate identification of good employee behavior is the duty of every industrialist, or a duty of every employer. So by identifying them, you just give the compel them to work hard, and you just praise them by giving extra non-monetary rewards like certificate, medals, and along with that you should give a higher position, that is promotion, and along with that you have to give the extra facilities. So like that, these are some of the principles. So when you are giving the promotion, once again you are going for revising the wage and salary. when you are giving the promotion, you should revise. It is a common sense, and it is a common law. It has to be done by the organization. So next one is fifth one, formation of the system of wage and salary as it satisfy as far as possible to all the employees. So whatever you do, it is only for the workers. Wage and salary administration is only for the workers, betterment of the workers. So that's why it is always in the favor of employees. No employee should go against it, that it should be satisfied in all respects. Okay. Next sixth one is the compensation system should form with the definite rules and regulations, so that it should be adjusted as per the changing circumstances. So you cannot fix it only for some period of time. It has to be revised every year. So you should form that system according to some rules and regulation, so that some changing circumstances will definitely help it to adjust according to that. Okay. Next seventh one is the compensation package must ensure harmonious relationship between employee and employer. Definitely, when you are giving good salary package to the employee will also respect you, and your relationship will continue for a longer period of time. There will be a bonding relationship between employer and employee. So compensation, so we can say, in other words, vitamin M. Okay. So definitely it is very helpful for relationship between employee and employer. Next eighth one is compensation system should be flexible, so that future changes can be incorporated. So it should be flexible. I already told you, it should not be a fixed one. It should be flexible, so that any future change can be incorporated, so that it will not get it will get affected, because wage and salary system is not a constant system. It is going to be changed. I already told you. So whatever you are bringing the changes in your organization, all the functions will get affected. In the same way, wage and salary administration will also get affected. Okay. With this these concepts are over, that is employee remuneration, factors influencing wage and salary administration, and principles of wage and salary administration. Rest of the things we will continue in the next class. Thank you.